My friends, we are back in the Right You Void. Maybe someday I should make this look like actually like the podcast studio. I should that's on my list of things to do. There's always a lot to do. But I'm gonna put that on my list. It's going down. We're gonna make this look like a nice little podcast studio. Or maybe maybe a not very nice podcast studio, but we'll try. We'll try. It's not my forte, but you know what? As I always preach, it's okay. It's okay if something's not your forte. You can still try. So we're gonna try to make this look a little nicer for next week. Um, but yeah, hello guys, welcome back. Episode 3 already. Can you believe it? Can you believe that we are on podcast episode 3? By the end of the year, we're gonna be on like episode 15 or something. Can you fathom that? That's crazy talk. Crazy. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just kick it off by saying thank you so much. Everyone has been, a lot of people have been telling me how much they've been enjoying listening to these while they work or while they play a game, putting it in the background. And I'm a big guy who likes to have, I'm a big guy. I'm a guy who likes to have stuff on in the background while I'm doing stuff like mundane tasks. I like to have something to listen to in the background. So I'm very happy that this was able to fulfill that role for you. We've got a good amount of questions this week, and I have a lot of topics as well. The thing is, right, and I'll kind of preface the podcast by saying this as well. I have a lot of good conversations with people, and topics come up and stuff in any given week. And sometimes I ask them to put it in a question. Hey, can you put a question in the forum? But sometimes I feel bad asking, so I just make notes, and then we'll talk about it. We don't need a question in a stupid form. If someone talked to me about something interesting that is relevant to the podcast that I can include, I'm just gonna do it. So, anyway, with that out of the way, I'm gonna jump into the first question. So we're gonna split it up. I'll probably do some questions, and then I have some notes, like I said. So we'll mix it up a little bit. But the first podcast question is, I legitimately don't know who this is. It says Cutie writes you Stan for Luck Mech. So it might be the Cutie Diamond, or it might be a hybrid of me and Diamond and Lava Stan and Chili Mex. So I don't know, what would that even look like? Does someone want to draw that? I'm scared to know. But any hoodles, the question is, since it's spooky month, do you have any ghost encounter experience or any funny Halloween experience you can share with us? Yeah, so I actually do, and this is actually a good story. So back in the day, you guys might be familiar, probably not most of you, because he's kind of an old school YouTuber, like mid to late 2000s, like 2008. He was big, like that time frame. Called Mr. Safety. He was on YouTube. I don't know how many. We're gonna do some live research. Mr. Safety. How many subscribers does he have? He might have changed his. Now his name's SMP Films. I remember they changed it, but okay. So he only had 650K subs, but in the day, he had a lot. He had several hundred thousand. He was like one of the biggest YouTubers. So anyway, one time during Halloween, he had a live stream, and he was inviting people to actually like come on like the camera with him and like tell their story. And I got to tell this story on his show, and it was crazy. I mean, there was like thousands of people there. It was like a really, really popular streamer at the time. So yeah, I got chosen, and then I got to tell my story. And I mean, I don't know, he seemed to like it. The people in the chat seemed to like it. So anyway, here's the story. So when I was a kid, I was staying at my friend's house, and it was late one night, and I was by myself, and so they had a weird layout, but basically they had a TV and an N64 in their kitchen. So I was in the kitchen playing N64 Super Smash Brothers, and so I was like, playing and whatever, and like I think I actually like beat the campaign. It was just me, like my friends were asleep. So yeah, so it was just me, and I was playing, and I beat the game. And when you beat the game, like it flashes to like a black screen for a second. So it flashed to a black screen, and behind me, I saw someone, a boy standing there in a white shirt. And so I was like, "Oh, hey, Johnny," or like whoever it was, and I was like, "Hey, like, what's up?" And no one said anything. So I turned around, and no one was there. And so I was like, "Okay, yeah, obviously, like someone's like messing with me, joking." So I went into the other room, and everyone was sound asleep, and no one was wearing a white shirt. Everyone had dark colored clothing on. And this was like a 5 second difference in time. So no one was changing their shirt, like sprinting out there and changing their shirt to prank me. So that is an encounter that I believe we had some other spooky things happen at that house slightly, but not on that level. That was the one where I was really like, whoa, like no one here is wearing a white shirt. That's crazy. So yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting experience, and I don't, there's obviously other um, uh, possible explanations, like someone was playing a prank, or maybe the shirt really wasn't white, and I just like thought it was white, but it wasn't. But I vividly remember it being a white shirt, and so that's the story I told on Mr. Safety way back in the day, and that's the story I'm telling you guys here. So maybe it was a ghost. I don't know. Who knows? But there was a few little kind of spooky things, like that we kind of had happen there. But it was an old house, so I like to think that there was a possibility that that maybe this ghost kid was watching me play video games, because I don't know, if I was a ghost kid, I probably would see someone playing Smash Brothers and think, wow, that's really cool, and watch it. So maybe he was just hanging out and watching me play Smash Brothers, and I yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it was a very interesting experience, and so yeah, thanks for the question, mystery person who might or might not be Lava Stand, Chili Mex, or Diamond, or me, or someone else who just combined all of our names. I don't know, but yeah, I hope that was a fun story for you guys. I've never really shared that since the Mr. Safety show like 15 years ago. So yeah, alrighty. Uh, this one is from Gaby, and this is a great situation of a great example of when I say people have good conversations with me, and I ask him to put it on the forum. Gaby asked me this question, and I answered it for him. But then I said, "Hey, Gaby, can you put that in the podcast? Because I think that's a great question." So he did it. Thanks, Gaby. I appreciate it. Yeah, I try not to bug people. I try to take notes, but I do like having the form. Although, I mean, I guess the form's really not all that important, but it just, I don't know, it adds some credibility that, well, I guess you guys can't even see that. You don't even know. This could even not even be on the forum. I could be completely lying, but it is on the forum. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just rambling. So, any hoodles. The question from Gaby is, how do you usually deal with a sad day? I try to listen to music, but sometimes the melancholic lyrics are too relatable. All right, so this is a great question. Gaby and I had I don't know about a long talk, but we had to talk about this. So I'm just like anyone, I'm perfectly well experienced in having sad days. And I think the key is different things work differently for different people. Uh, for me, music is definitely a big one. I like singing, I like dancing, so I'll put on some kind of like happy, upbeat music, and I'll just dance around. I'll sing, I'll be obnoxious, I'll just be me. So I'll do that. So that's definitely one I utilize a lot. The big one for me really has been, as you guys have seen, I've been putting out a lot of stuff. For me, the best way for me is to be productive. Because here's the thing, right? You can use a lot of things to drown out your sorrows for a day. And I do. I mean, I play video games sometimes to try to not be sad. I listen to music, maybe watch streams or something or whatever. But at the end of the day, right, for me anyway, doing something productive, even if it's just something silly, like I practiced my uke today, or I worked on some YouTube. Speaking of which, I need to upload my YouTube video. Or whatever. I did something that I have something to show for it. Like, look, I learned this song a little bit better on the uke. Look, I got my video uploaded today, or I got ahead in recording for future videos, or I updated my Discord a little bit. I cleaned it up a bit. I cleaned up my Twitch a little bit. Like, for me, being productive is always the best way, because then I can say I'm distracted while the bad things happening, when the bad feelings are happening. And also, then at the end of the day, I don't have to say, well, I was sad all day and then I didn't accomplish anything either, so I'm pretty much worthless. I can say, well, yeah, it was a tough day. I wasn't feeling great, but I did get all this done. And on a bad day, especially for me, any kind of like productivity is a win. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you write off days, and I definitely have had days where I'm just like ready to write them off. Like, well, this isn't going to be a day I do anything productive. Like, I just feel like crap. So being able to have something to show for it at the end of a tough day, anything, even something small, is a huge win for me. So that's the strategy I utilize. But again, different things work for different people. Me being an extrovert, I get recharged being around people. So sometimes for me, the best way is I join a stream, someone in our community or someone that I'm good friends with, where I can just be a little gremlin in chat and chat with people and be silly and laugh and make jokes and have a good time. So it really just depends what is best for you. Some people thrive on social interaction like that. Some people thrive on being, playing a game, accomplishing something in a game. Just being able to lose yourself in a video game world. Some people thrive on being productive, like I said, or you don't have to do any of those things. You can just vibe and listen to music and just kind of like feel something. So for me, yeah, that's what I do. I also, I mean, and I'm not saying that people have to do this. I also like exercising, so exercise is also a good way to. I'll go for very very long walks or jogs or something like that. Particularly when I'm feeling sad, because then you have the benefit of helping your health. That's good for your health. So I guess that kind of ties back to productivity as well. Doing something that's good for you, for me anyway, makes me feel better about. Yeah, I didn't feel good today, but I did do these things that were good and benefited me, or were productive or whatever. So I like to have a win. For me, I want to know that even on a crappy day where maybe I'm not motivated to accomplish much, I had a win of some sort that I can pat myself on the back and say, yo, I accomplished something. I did something good today. So for me, that's a strategy I implement. But I encourage you to find what works for you. And maybe you'll try multiple of those things, and you'll not be sure. And so just keep trying, I say, and find what works for you. Um, yeah, it's just we're all of us are just doing our best in this life, and none of us really know the perfect formula to anything. I certainly don't. So realistically, we're just trying. So try things and see what works for you. And when you find something that works well for you, do it. And again, none of these are going to be foolproof. You'll still feel bad. I still like work on things and be productive. But if I'm having a bad day and I'm feeling bad, I'm still going to feel bad. But at least I'm like distracting myself somewhat and getting something done, etc. Like it's not magic, right? Like you're not magically going to be cured if you're feeling sad, but it does help. So that's really what we're going for. We're not going for 100% like cure everything magically. Poof, it's so magic. We're going for, you know what? Let's do what we can to set ourselves up for success. So there's no magic way, but just find something that works for you. It's very different between people. Maybe hanging out with friends, maybe getting on a call with friends is a good way. Um, but yeah, well, whatever you like to do, in those situations, just experiment, try some things out, and I promise you'll find something that helps in some way. Even if it's not, again, it won't be a cure all, it won't be magic, but it will help in some form. I know sometimes I've been feeling horrible. And then, like, even like here, I'll just use an example. At night, sometimes, like night is a sad time for many people, right? People a lot say don't listen to your thoughts after 9 p.m. or whatever because they're gonna betray you. Sometimes I feel bad at night, and then like Game Orcas streams at nighttime for me. So like sometimes I'll be feeling bad. I'll get in their chat. We're all like being little gremlins in chat, being silly, having a good time, and so for me that works well. So yeah, basically you'll find something that works for you. Just try some things. Try some different things, see what works. Don't force something on yourself if it doesn't help you when you're feeling sad and it just makes you feel worse, for example. Like if being productive when you're feeling sad makes you feel worse, don't try to be productive. Try to do something else. Do what works for you. And you'll find something that works, I promise. So yeah, thank you so much for the question, Gaby. I hope that helps. I know we already talked about it somewhat, but I wanted to give a good elaborate answer because I'm sure there's other people that are going through the same thing. So yeah, thanks, Gaby. All right. Question number 3 from Anthon. Anthon always asks good questions. So here's one of Anthon's questions for this week. It says, in an alternate universe, you're the final boss / champion of the Pokemon League. Who's in your team? This is a good question. So in when I got Pokemon Soul Silver, that was like for me like the most hype game I've like ever been excited for. So I was so insanely excited for that. So when I got Soul Silver, I kind of had that intent to make my quote unquote dream team. And I'll tell you what my team was in that. It was my one of my favorite starters, arguably my I don't know if I don't know. He's right there. But anyway, I started with Cyndaquil. Um and I did evolve him into Typhlosion, but I love Cyndaquil. He's one of my favorite starters. I mean, easily top 5. Love Cyndaquil. Uh I mean, who's Raichu's favorite Pokemon? Buizel! I had a Buizel, of course. I did evolve into Floatzel, but you know, I love Buizel. A Raichu. Yeah, that's I know, shocker. So I had those 3. I had a Sandslash. I love Sandshrew slash Sandshrew slash Sandslash is one of my favorite Pokemon. I love Sandshrew. So I had them. I was a big Nuzleaf fan at the time, so I had Nuzleaf evolved into Shiftry for a grass type. I don't like a lot of grass types. And my 6th was who was it? Swellow? I believe it was Swellow. I'm a big Swellow fan. He's probably my favorite flying type. It was either him or Pidgeotto slash Pidgeot. Those are my other favorite flying types. So yeah, so that was kind of my dream team. So I would think something in that realm. Like Raichu's obviously my favorite electric type. Buizel's obviously my favorite water type. I would say Cyndaquil is in the running for my favorite fire type, so that's totally fair. We already talked about my favorite flying type. Ground type, absolutely Sandshrew slash Sandslash. And then Nuzleaf slash Shiftry could be slotted out. I wanted a grass type, and I didn't really know who my favorite grass type was. I'm still not sure. So that interchangeable there, but those first 5 are for sure, I would say. The 6th, I'd have to look around a little bit. I like the kitty cat, the little weed cat. Maybe he could be my grass type. I don't know. But I don't. Yeah, that was a tough one for me. The 6th choice there, but I think I'd want a grass type. But I'm not 100% sold on who it would be. So perhaps it would be Shiftry. I like Shiftry, but not a guarantee. So maybe I get the grass kitty cat. I'm trying to think what even other grass types came out. Let's look it up. Let's Google grass type Pokemon. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, I don't know. The grass kitty cat is a good boy. Oh, how come I didn't get Sceptile? That would have been a good choice. I wonder why I didn't. Grovyle slash Sceptile would have been a good choice. I love Grovyle. Grovyle is one of my favorite Pokemon. Maybe I would go with them. Yeah, I kind of didn't even think about that. But yeah, maybe I would go with the Sceptile. Probably. I think that's a good choice. I think Sceptile would be very, very likely. So let's go with the Sceptile as our 6th. I think I pretty confidently like him more than Shiftry. So yeah, I'm going with uh Sceptile. I couldn't think of the name. But yeah, that's my dream team. So I actually did have that dream team once. Back in the day. They're still on my DS cartridge. They're still there hanging out. So yeah, love that team. Love them. Thanks for the question, Anthon. That was an interesting one. All right. This is from Game Orca. It says, how many chews would a Raichu chew if a Raichu could chew? That just makes me think of Hawk Tua chew on that thing. We got to do that raid message yesterday. I'm so happy. How many chews would a Raichu chew? One, because Raichus don't have big mouths. And I don't have a big mouth either. Like, my mouth is not big, and Raichu's mouths are not big. So not many. I guess just one. That's the only sensible answer. And sorry, I'm a sensible guy, so I'm gonna answer sensibly. Also, I didn't prepare for this, even though I knew the question was coming. So I apologize. Game Worker wants to know, do I have any other Sonas / OCs? And let me tell you, Game Worker, I've got myself a truckload. All right, so I'm gonna get these ready real quick while we chat. So yeah, we hold on. I knew this question existed, so it was just my dumb idiocy that I was not prepared. So I apologize for that, guys. I'm apologizing, but yeah. So I have a lot of sonas, and most of them I don't do much with. Admittedly, I'm not. I don't get as much art as I should, and so that's really the challenge. That I don't purchase enough art. So that is where I lack. You have OCs, but you can't really do much. I mean, I don't know. You can't do a whole lot with them if you don't get art. So that is why I am lacking in that department. However, I have some cool OCs I think you guys will like. So I'm just finishing getting them up. Actually, it's not too bad actually getting all these up. So I have those. I'm gonna do these like in order, I guess. Oh man, this is gonna be we're gonna do this. Nope, we don't have it. Let's see here. We want to do. I'm just thinking of all the sonas I have. Fudge. All right. So Murad drew me a lot of these arts. That's what I'm looking for. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did. Sorry, I was thinking of how many W's were in Mu. Where's the dang kitty cat art? I know the dang kitty cat art. Kitty meow meow art is around here. Where is it? Hold on. Maybe it's here? Maybe if I type that in? No? Huh. Okay. Well, let's sorry, Murat, we got to go to your Twitter page to find it. But yeah, so I have right now it's looking like at least 8, and I might even forget. Some. So let me just find this, and then we're almost done. We're almost done. Don't you worry, guys. You got to listen to me talk while I look for things. So sorry, you have to open your eyes if you weren't looking. If you're listening, you need to open your eyeballs, and you have to look. All right, so get ready. I think this is all of my characters. Is it? I think. Almost done. Almost there. Okay, we got that, and we got this. All right, perfect. We're done. Okay. All right. So we have everything we need, and we are going to kick it off with the most obvious choice. Here we go. I'm jumping over to the screen. We have my Thunderfang logo is blocking my head. Well, it's okay. You can't see my face here. It's okay. That's me. I'm an anthropomorphic Thunderfang. But anyway, that's the Raichu. That's me, the famous the Raichu live in Lycanroc hoodie and or Kigu, but I guess it's really a hoodie. It was originally a Kigu, but it became kind of a hoodie. So yeah, that's Raichu, the iconic Raichu. And then of course the iconic Raichu. And yep, this was the original ref sheet that Nikki made me for Raichu, and this is the one I use when I get art or anything with him. So yep, that's me. So now we're getting to the more obscure stuff. Charmeleon. So Charmeleon, this is one of the first characters I made before Raichu. This was second after Raichu. He doesn't have a name. It's Charmeleon the Charmeleon. I know, very original. And yeah, he's a cool guy. I like Charmeleon. I'm a big Charmeleon fan. And I think I can say this because it's a podcast. The reason I became a Charmeleon fan is because many years ago I saw really good porn of Charmeleon, and I was like, "Damn, he's sexy. I want to be that." And so, so I became Charmeleon. But yeah, I like this character. It's cool. Yeah, I like him. I don't do much. I had a few arts, at least 2 or 3 arts have been made back in the day. Haven't touched him in a long while, but do like him. Next is my Raptor, which I have third place. For a while, I was super into my raptor character. His name is Vim, as in Vim and Vigor. And if you don't know what Vim means, for you non-native English speakers who might not know the word Vim, I'm going to tell you what the word Vim means. The definition is lively or energetic spirit, enthusiasm, vitality. So the synonym, one of the synonyms is literally energy. So it's my brand. I thought this was like when I had like a brain blast moment where I was like, whoa, I just had a good name for a character, which is funny, right? It's funny that the character Raichu was formed just as Raichu, right? And then I started popping off with these names, like Vim is a good name. And you'll see some other good names as we move on through the list here. But like, yeah, what a freaking good name. Anyway, there's a few arts of Vim. There's 4 different arts, at least 4 arts I have of Vim. I use some of these as badges sometimes. This is when I like to use the badge. This one was made as a badge. It's cute, right? So yeah, I like raptors. I like dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are cool. So yeah, this is all the arts of Vim. So yeah, I hope you guys like him. If you wanted me to share any of this with you so you can actually look at it beyond my podcast, let me know. I'll share it with you. So yeah. All right. After that, we have my famous otter character that I was telling people about. His name is Riot. Riot. Get it? Yeah. So this, I don't know. I like otters. I made an otter character because I like otters. Not only is he extremely handsome, but I also unironically love how clever the name is. Oh, Chili Mex, thank you. That was like 4.5 years ago. Chili Mex, so thoughtful. Wow. Wow, June 11th, 2020. I was already screaming your name, Chili Mex. Or I guess I just typed it in all caps, but maybe I wasn't typing Chili Mex in all caps yet. But anyway, yeah. So I like otters, and I don't have any other art other than this, but I like the name. I thought it was extremely clever. I was really, really proud of myself. All right. And his name is Blitz. He's a Buizel, and he plays Blitzball, as you can see. So that's that. You guys know Blitzball, Final Fantasy X? Yeah, I made a character named Blitz, which honestly, it's not a bad name for a character either. This was relatively clever naming him Blitz, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. I love Weasels, but I don't really see myself as a Buizel. I'm more of a Bui kisser than a Buizel myself. So I didn't do anything with this. This is the only art there is. Actually, there might be one other. I don't remember, but yeah. So I like Buizel, but I don't personally relate to the character that much. But I do love Buizel, and it's a good name. And yeah, Blitzball, Final Fantasy X, woo! So yeah. All right, moving on. We have my kobold. So this is from Murrah. Thank you, Murrah, for the art. He was originally supposed to be like a bot on the screen. Like I was going to implement him into the stream, like as like a helper. Or, never happened. Maybe it will happen in the future. I don't know. But this is a kobold. He doesn't have a name. I don't think he has a name. Does he have a name? I don't think so. Oh, he does, doesn't he? What's his name? No, does he? Right? Probably Rybold or something stupid. I don't know. He might have a name. I don't know, but it's cute. Good job, Murrah. And then the character that we all got to see on my Alone in the Dark 3 stream this week, Raimew, of course. One of my favorites. I love kitty cats, and Murrah really crushed this out of the park. He really crushed this out of the park. I love it. It's great art. It is fantastic art. So thanks, Murrah. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for the art, Murrah. Thank you. Really like it. Very happy with it. Love the expression. Nailed the expression. Very cool. He's got the same thing Raichu does on his paw there, and really, really cool. So thank you, Murrah. Yep, that's Raimew. So we'll show off Raimew a little bit more on the stream, perhaps. People are saying, oh, that's super cute. So I don't know. If people like it, we can show it off more. So yep, that is all my characters, I think. I think that's every character I own. So thanks for the question, Game Orca. I hope that answered your question well. I do have a lot. A lot. But most of them I don't do anything with. These days, it's Raichu and Raiju. And I still wear my Vim badge to cons. And at LVFC last year, people were really excited. People like Raptors, I think, a lot. So a lot of people commented on it. I was super happy. I think that's really cool. So I'm very, very happy. So Yeah, thanks for the question, Game Orca. All right, next question, number 6. Game Orca, why do you always ask me questions where you want to see me say bad things? I thought, why don't you want me to be happy about things? Why don't you want me to be happy? This one says, what has been your least favorite game you've played on stream? Okay, so here's the thing. That's an interesting question. And if we were live, like if I was with you in the room right now, I would ask you for clarity on that question. There's 2 ways I can interpret that question, and I will answer for both ways. So there's 2 ways to interpret it. Number 1 is a game that I streamed that just wasn't fun for me. It wasn't fun. I personally didn't like it. Streaming experience aside, I did not find the game very fun. Okay? So that's one option. The second is one that was not a good streaming experience. Like maybe I liked the game, but the streaming experience wasn't good. So I have good answers for both of those. So let's go with the second option there. A game that maybe I like, but the streaming experience sucked. And for that game, I'm going to choose, and this might be controversial, or maybe if Lord Millinor watches this, he's going to be pumping his fists in excitement. I have no idea if Lord Millinor listens to these, but if he does, he's going to be very excited, because my answer for game that was a poor streaming experience, not my feelings aside, it was a poor streaming experience, was Banjo-Kazooie. And the reason for that was, man, the game is just... I do like the game still, but man, it really didn't hold up in some areas that I thought it would. It really, like, as a kid, it was this crazy world, and I thought it was so cool. But man, there's a lot of mindless walking around Gruntilda's lair, which is annoying. A lot of the levels just aren't very well made. They're frustrating. I didn't have that much fun. Gosh, swimming in that game, not fun at all. And for those of you who watched, you know, we didn't end up even being able to beat the game. Yes, we bugged the final boss. We lost, but we won. We died right as we were going to quote-unquote win. It kicked us out of the level, and we couldn't go back into the level. The game bugged, my save file was corrupted, and we had to end the game without technically beating the game. So it was a horrible experience for the stream. I was so upset. I still do like the game, and I have some warm and fuzzies, but there's a lot of flaws in that game that I didn't realize. So it's a tough one for me. So that's what I'm going to say. All right, so now we're going to choose one that maybe was an okay streaming experience, but I personally didn't find that much fun. And if Lord Millinor is watching, he's going to hate me for this one, so I guess we'll even it out. But I didn't really enjoy Blasphemous very much. It was just, there again, that was a game where there was a lot of walking, and I think people actually liked the streams pretty well. But it was a lot of walking. It was like some of those bosses were just brutal, just dying. It wasn't fun at those times. Like, so much walking and backtracking, and like, oh, it just felt like so often I was just walking for no reason, and that was so frustrating, which, I mean, I guess that's just a Metroidvania thing. I mean, it is what it is, but man, I don't know if that's the right type of game for a vaRAIety stream, because I just felt like, oh man, I'm just trudging along here. It's rough. So I don't know. People might have liked that. I didn't find that game too much fun, unfortunately. So Blasphemous for me is probably in the bottom tier. And it's hard for me to pick a for sure bottom tier, but definitely Blasphemous is the one that comes to mind. So unfortunately, I just wasn't a big fan. You know, I don't know. It wasn't like a bad game by any means, but for me, it wasn't a game that I super enjoyed, unfortunately. When it was over, I was more relieved. Sometimes, you know, you beat a game and you're like, that was a really nice experience. When I beat Blasphemous, it was just relief. I was honestly so thrilled that it was done. Just, oh, all right, we're done. we're done. And, you know, it is what it is. It happens to the best of us. And the fact that it's hard for me to choose something like that when I've been streaming on Twitch for 5.5 years, I think it's a good thing. My game selection is very tight. And what I mean by that is, like, I'm very selective. I don't play a game on stream if I'm not certain I'm going to finish it. And if I'm not pretty dang certain I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not one of those guys who, oh, let me just try this game on stream and it might suck and I might turn it off after. No, if I start a game, I've never not finished a game. Every game I've ever started on stream, I have finished. And I intend to continue to follow through with that. even Blasphemous, which again is in my bottom tier. It was still good enough for me to finish. Obviously, it was frustrating at times and a little grindy at times, but we still finished it. So yeah, I'm very selective with my game choices. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. Okay, Game Orca, that you got to. Is this going to be Game Orca's meme every single week? They're going to be having a thing like, Raichu, who do you really hate in your community? Like, please don't ask that, please. I'm gonna wait. I'll look forward to your angry question for next week, Game Orca, where you're telling me what you want me to hate about stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go to some other non-question topics, but I just want to make sure what I need to. Okay, perfect. Okay, we're good. Okay, so yeah, we've got a few more questions, and I will be answering those in part 2. But for right now, I'm recording these in 1 hour-ish chunks. So we're gonna go to a story, Raichu story time. So this is like this is basically, like, again, I'm very blessed that people. Oh, oops, I'm in the wrong place again. Dang it! I always do this. I'm very fortunate that people are comfortable talking to me about things. I always feel grateful that listen, for me, like, having serious conversations about stuff is like, it is such it fills my heart when people ask me for advice or they tell me about something they're going through or something like that. Like, I really like that. It's funny, right? Because people feel like they're being a burden with those kind of things. That's here. Let me give you guys a little spoiler. If you want Raichu to like you more, if you want to get closer to Raichu, you're trying to win Raichu's heart, whatever it may be vulnerable. Talk to me about something very serious and let me talk to you, back about it. It's really a powerful thing. Like, when someone's vulnerable with me about something, like, it 100% every time in my life, anytime anyone has ever been vulnerable with me, our connection grows immensely. I remember freaking 14 years ago, the first time Toshabi was vulnerable with me, and how we immediately, like, my level of fondness for him went like, it's like you crank the dial, on the, like, to turn up the music, like, it was cranked up. So yeah, I'm huge on that. Vulnerability is such an attractive, like, thing for friends or romantic, or, whatever it may be. Like, either way, like, it is such a way to get closer for me. And I very much, enjoy having vulnerable conversations with people. But yeah, anywho, so, so story time from a friend who talked to me about, actually, this was an older story, but I wanted to bring it up again because it's kind of, it's an interesting story. I never got to tell it. The first podcast episode went extremely long, and then the second, I'm not sure why I didn't get it in episode 2, but we're doing it now. So basically, this story is about, and I don't want to tell too much where it doxes them, but basically, it's the classic story of, two people meet online and they're good friends. They talk every day or mostly every day. They hang out. They're forming a great bond and they're getting closer, et cetera, et cetera. And, again, you never really know what the other one is thinking, but one of them began to develop feelings for the other. Romantic feelings, a crush, if you will. Those words are interchangeable. So I might say romantic feelings, I might say a crush, however you want to interpret it. But yeah, those are but really they're the same thing. So guy number 1 got a crush on guy number 2. Understandable. They talk every day. They hang out. They're vulnerable with each other. They spend time together. They love each other's company, etc. Got a crush. Understandable. So fast forward, they go to a con together, and stuff happens. And again, I'm not going to dox the whole story. They go to a con, and the guy who's got a crush finds it to be the right moment. And let me tell you, he did run the situation by me. And I told him, I can't fault you, brother. You did exactly what I would have done. That in my estimation, you made no mistakes. If this story you're telling me is accurate, you 100% did it the way I would have. And yeah, so anyway, he confessed at this particular time, I've got a crush on you, or I love you, whatever the wording may be. Like, I have romantic feelings for you. Okay, locked in. And the other person didn't. They didn't feel the same, or they were surprised. They needed some space, and they didn't necessarily reciprocate the feelings that person number one shared. So yeah, how do you deal with a situation like that? I mean, it's an interesting kind of thought, I guess. And how do you pivot away from that if that person is not interested? And it's there's a lot of interesting things that I guess that stem from that. So you make this play, you make a move, like I say, and you do everything right. You do everything right. You read the situation. I mean, again, it's hard for me to fully interpret a situation like that because I don't know the vibes person number two is giving off. But I can say, you read the situation. They're giving off vibes that they might be interested. You make a move, right? So I just wrote some little notes here of like the follow-ups and like giving up on love, remaining friends. So yeah, you told someone you are romantically interested in them, and they said no, or they said I don't know, or whatever the answer may be. Basically, any answer except a definitive "Wow, I love you too. Let's be a couple." Any answer but that is essentially a. I mean, it's not necessarily a no, but it's basically that's how there's two courses of action, right? Course number one, they say I love you too. Okay, well, do we want to go into a relationship? Cool, whatever. So that's option number one. Option number two, any other answer, whether it be, hey, I need some space, hey, I'm not interested in you like that, hey, I'm not sure how I feel, which is a common one, by the way. I'm not sure how I feel. I've never really thought about that, but I need to think about that. Any of those other answers, you have to figure out how to pivot, right? So like, assuming, and this is what I told my person number one in that situation, I said, if you care about them that much, right? Like if you love them so much that you would have wanted to be in a relationship with them, right? I have to assume that you're still interested in having them be a big part of your life. And I can say, from my own experience, I haven't really had that many crushes, and this is something I was thinking about because when I took these notes, realistically, right, I can't call Toshabi a crush because he crushed on me and I let the feelings develop. So there was I never had a crush phase with him. It was like, hey, I have a crush on you. And I was like, huh, that's cool. And then it developed. I let it blossom, and it blossomed, right? So other than that, I've really only had 3 crushes in my life. And obviously I've only been in one long-term relationship. I can't sugarcoat it. I have only been in one long-term relationship. I've only been in one relationship because it was so long-term. So yeah, like for me, obviously those other 3, the 3 crushes I've had in my life that genuinely, I think I've only had romantic feelings in 4 people because Toshabi, but crushes on 3 people and Toshabi. So 4 people I've had romantic feelings for in my life, 3 of which obviously, well, didn't work out or whatever it may be. But so like my thoughts on it is like, if you really care about someone that much that you would have wanted to be in a relationship with them, or you are in love with them, or you have romantic feelings for them, whatever, you obviously want them to be a part of your life, in my estimation, right? That's in my opinion. I would hope that to be the case. I know for all of mine, I absolutely would have wanted or did want or did get. I won't go into too much detail, but like I would want, I can confidently say if I was in love with someone, I would want them to be a part of my life, whether or not, even if we weren't destined to be a couple, if I love them that much, I clearly think that their character is really good. And, we have common interests, all the things that you would want in a great friend, right? So how do you get past that love and remain friends, and not let that push you away? Because I talked about this story before as well, but I've had more than I've crushed on. I've had more people crush on me, and all of those people, none of those people are in my life anymore, because I'm not trying to be cocky, like, oh, I couldn't have done anything wrong, but like I think I handled those situations where I didn't reciprocate the feelings. I think I handled them pretty darn well and gave all signs and vibes that I still wanted to be friends with those people. Because again, I've said it a lot, but I have no problem. I think I am a big believer in shooting your shot, right? If someone told me that they have romantic feelings for me, I would, or a crush, whatever it may be, I respect the hell out of that. And listen, I'm a big believer. My only relationship was someone telling me that they had a crush on me. I already talked about it earlier. I didn't feel the same way at the time, but from them, we can say his name. Hey, Toshabi. From Toshabi telling me that, he allowed my heart to blossom the love. If I don't know, how am I supposed to know? Like love is something you develop. People think love is only like, I see them instantly and I connect, which fair, valid. A lot of the time it is that. Like, I see them and I instantly connect and I instantly feel like a good vibe with them. And it's like, whoa, that's crazy. But love can develop. So that's why I'm such a believer in shooting your shot. And again, don't shoot it on day one, Wow, I just met someone and wow, I feel good vibes with them. Hey, I love you. maybe not quite, but like, don't wait too long either. Waiting too long is the worst thing that can happen. Can you imagine? Like, for all of my crushes, I never had a situation where it was like, oh, I waited too long and they got with someone else, what could have been, etc. But like, can you imagine that feeling? That kind of sucks to never get to try. And like, so that's why I'm such a like proponent of that. Like, give the person a chance, dude. If you really love them, if you're close enough to them that you can say you love them, you should be able to talk to them and have a serious conversation. And listen, I'm telling you honestly, if someone is that much like, if someone is like cuts you off from their life completely because you say like, hey, I just want to be vulnerable with you. I care about you a lot. And I feel these romantic feelings. Like, I just wanted to let you know. If someone cuts you off for that they weren't really that close to you to begin with. So, I mean, like that, they weren't as close as you thought, which again hurts, but like, it's not something that like, if you really had a good friendship, you're not going to ruin it by you telling them that, I'm just saying. I still cared about my friends, all my friends that have ever told me, hey, I have a crush on you. Even though I didn't reciprocate, I never thought less of any of them, and it never affected my relationship or my desire to want to hang out with them or talk to them or whatever. So that's kind of why it's important. Definitely one of my crushes, I probably waited too long. But like, it can be hard. It can be definitely hard, but like, that's probably the one I regret the most. Not the ones that I maybe shot my shot, I don't know, probably not too early, but realistically at a reasonable time, but on the earlier side of things versus on the waiting too long side of things. So like, shoot your shot and yeah, so I guess like, yeah, basically, you are interested in them and they're not interested back. That's okay. Like, you just like manage your own expectations. There's nothing inherently wrong with like you didn't do anything wrong. You don't control how your heart feels, right? It's not like, oh, I'm a jerk. Like, I said I had romantic feelings for them and they don't reciprocate, but my heart still has romantic feelings for them. Like, oh, I'm such a jerk. You're not a jerk, or like, there's nothing bad. You don't need to feel bad for having those feelings. Like, yes, you should be mindful of boundaries. And that's something I've always tried to be mindful of in those situations. But like, you don't have to feel bad. There's nothing wrong. Like, there might be people out there that have romantic feelings for me and I may or may not reciprocate. Who knows? But like, whoever you are, like, if you're out there, like, there's nothing wrong. Like, I'm not offended. I'm flattered. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a bad thing. Like, it's, as long as you're not pushing boundaries, and I can confidently say no one in my life that I'm close to, like, has ever went over any boundaries or anything. So, and I don't foresee that happening. I'm a pretty good judge of character, I think. And that's me being confident in my ability to judge character. No one ever steps over boundaries with me. At least like the important people in my life don't. So like, yeah, you don't beat yourself up over having feelings. Like, that's not, we can't control how we feel. The heart feels how it wants to feel. So don't don't beat yourself up. Sometimes I think the feeling is that people say like, God dang it, like I told him I loved him and he said, well, like that means a lot, but he doesn't feel that back. But I still like I'm still in love with him. Like, what can I do? Like, I'm such a piece of crap. Like why am I feeling like this? I shouldn't be feeling like this. Like he doesn't feel like that. So why am I feeling like this? Grr. But like, don't beat yourself up. Don't go into hiding like, oh, I can't talk to them because, you know, I am just a weirdo who's in love with them. Like don't beat yourself up. Just let yourself get yourself back to that ground where you can just appreciate them. And in time, I mean, I can't really say it. In time, maybe you'll have those feelings continue, or maybe they'll go away, you know, those romantic feelings. But like, I can tell you, like, you don't want to lose those people. Like, if you really, like, out of the three people I've ever crushed on, one is completely out of my life, like no contact. One is like extraordinarily rare contact, and one I have regular contact with. So like, there's only, or you know, pretty regular, whatever. But like, I like it's you don't want to lose that contact. I mean, I don't know the people that have had crushes on me in the past and cut contact with me. Like, I don't know. Do you think? I hope. I mean, I don't know. Do they regret losing contact with me? I mean, I guess I mean I don't want to say I hope they're feeling regret, but like I hope that I'm was important enough to them that you know, regardless of what happened, they would have preferred to have me in their life still. You know what I mean? Like if you have romantic feelings for someone, again, we're beating the same bush, but like if you have romantic feelings for them, clearly you want them to be a part of your life. Clearly they're super important. And for me, I don't take that lightly. Like I said, when I have like a crush or romantic feelings for someone, the list is so short. Like I'm very, very selective. So like I would want I would want them to be a part of my life. You know what I mean? So like I don't know. That's just how I feel about things and stuff. But try, you know, that and that's the challenge. And I guess I really didn't give good advice on how to do it. But I don't lock yourself away. Like they think, you know, if they say they need space or something after hearing that, which I never really felt that way. When people told me in the past, I never felt like, oh, I need space. But maybe some people need space, right, or something. So if they need some space, give them some space. But like people gave me space, I didn't need space or want space. Like that's awesome. Like that's really really sweet that you have a crush on me or you have romantic feelings for me. That's really awesome. But unfortunately, you know, I'm not sure I feel the same. I don't feel the same. But like I still, you're really important to me and I care about you a lot. Um, like that, if I said something like that doesn't mean go hide in the corner and don't speak to me. That means, hey, let's continue to vibe the way we have and let's continue to be close. So don't take signs for things they're not. If someone says that to you, if you go up to your crush and you say, hey, I have romantic feelings for you, and they say, that's really sweet, but I don't feel the same, or whatever it may be, don't don't just inherently cut them off. If you need to for your own mental health, if you can't handle that, maybe that's an option then. But like I encourage you to try to keep them as part of your life because clearly you thought that they were important enough that you fell in love with them or you had a crush on them. So clearly they're important to you, and you don't want to live with regrets. So try to, you know, in my opinion, try to keep them as a part of your life because you know those people that you feel that connected to, they don't come around all that often. So don't just cut them off. You know, just kind of try to it, and it's hard. No one likes to be rejected. No one likes to be rejected. It's really freaking hard. But just you know, if you care about them, keep them as a part of your life. So I think I talked about that topic pretty well. I'm just looking over it. Yeah, I think I covered that pretty darn well. So that is good. All right. So I'm going to cross that off my list. All right. I guess there's a tie-in topic to that, which is funny, which I guess it's not really a topic. I just made a funny little note. I literally wrote he in parentheses next to it. But, I say he because yeah, it's just funny to me. People have been, I've been being shipped a lot. And you guys know what shipping means? Like, you know, write you X other person. would be a cute couple, etc. Blah blah blah. I feel like I've been being shipped a lot, so I want to say honestly, some people I think get offended by that kind of thing. I think it's kind of sweet. Thank you for anyone who's shipped me with someone else, because I do get those DMs. I've got DMs like that. I've gotten messages on streams. So thank you. That's very sweet. I don't take offense to it. I think if you think me and anyone would be a cute couple, then or whatever the comment says, like that's very sweet of you. So I take it as a compliment. So yeah, that's it. Thank you. I take it as a compliment. So if you've done that, then thank you. It's very sweet. I always feel flattered when someone says something like that. So yeah. All right. So let us continue on from there. I think we're not going to go into something too deep. I have some deeper topics on this list, but let's go into this one. It's about being connected 24/7, which I think is an interesting kind of topic, and just kind of saying sorry if you're not, if basically expectations of people around you, right? And we all have expectations of people, and we expect, we talked about it, I think, on episode 1. King and I kind of talked about this a little bit, but, just like managing those kind of relationships where maybe you think people should, you're talking to people, you want to have more communication with people, or you think people should respond a certain way, et cetera, et cetera. So, like, I think this is an interesting point to bring up, just the idea of being connected 24/7. So as you guys know, I mean, we're all connected 24/7, which for you younger folks, maybe that's all you're used to, is like you're always connected 24/7 because that's how it's been with the internet. But back in my day, we used to just disconnect. We would say goodnight to our friends, and then that's it. Or we would say bye to our friends, and then we would not talk to them again until probably the next day or whenever. But in this world we live in now, 24/7 connection, right? Anytime, at any moment of the day, right now, I could get a Telegram message, or at midnight, I could get a Telegram message when I'm getting ready for bed, or at any time, right? I could get a Telegram message. So we're connected 24/7, and we are all, as I always say, we're all struggling. We all struggle. Life is hard. We all struggle in our own ways. We're all busy. We all have a lot going on. We all feel bad some days, or a lot of days, maybe. But we're still connected, and it's kind of still expected, I guess, in this day and age. Like, you're connected and you're reachable at any given time. I know for me, I feel like I'm required to answer relatively quickly when someone messages me. So that's what I do. But, like, keep in mind, I think this is an important thing to note that people don't think about a lot. Keep in mind, people struggle, and there's no guarantees that you're reaching out to someone at a good time for them when they're in a good emotional headspace. So you might reach out to someone on a certain day when they're feeling good, and they might be super positive and, like, responding super positively to you, and they're like, you're vibing, it's awesome. And then you might reach out to them another time, and then it just seems like they're kind of sad, or they're maybe not interested in you. They're giving short responses, like they don't really want to talk, and you're like, well, shit, this person doesn't like me. They're a jerk, whatever it may be. But, like, I think it's just an important thing to remember. We all assume the worst, right? And you think, like, oh, they hate me. They're giving me bad responses. They're giving me short responses. Like, they definitely hate me. But, like, in addition, like, we all understand that people are busy, right? We all understand people are busy, so that's pretty common, like, understandable, right? People have stuff going on. If you message me during my stream, you're not going to get a long response. You probably won't get any response, right? For example. But, like, we don't think about that people's mental health is in different stages too. Like, there's going to be a very different mental health. If you message me on a Saturday at 3 p.m. when I'm feeling great, it's the freaking vibe. Like, oh, it's freaking Saturday. Like, we're going partying, baby, whatever. But, like, if you message me on 3 p.m. on a Saturday versus 11 p.m. on a Sunday, it's going to be a very different vibe. I don't like Sundays. I always feel very melancholic on Sunday nights. Very sad very often on Sunday nights. I don't know. I hate Sunday nights, but, like, there's going to be a very different vibe. And it's not because, like, I hate you, and, like, on Saturday I like you, on Sunday I hate you. It's just, we're connected 24/7, and we're reachable at all times. And unfortunately, like, if someone reaches out to me, I'm going to try to give a response, but that doesn't mean I'm in a good headspace. That doesn't mean I'm feeling good at the time. And it doesn't mean I want to socialize. For me, I guess it's not as, as I don't know if the right word, because for me, I'm a little more extroverted, so I actually get a little more power from talking to people. But um, especially for introverts, which the majority, I would say, the majority of the furry fandom is. Um, it's not the same. So if they're feeling bad, then it's going to be really hard for them to respond, and especially to give you a good response. And I don't want to say anyone deserves anything, but like give you the response that they might feel you deserve, and maybe you feel you deserve as well. They might not physically be able to, depending on when that message goes through. Um, so yeah, I think I just wanted to make that note about being connected 24/7, because it's not something we think about a lot, right? But we have access to everyone at every time in this day and age, and people aren't. I'm sorry to say, even the happiest person even the most upbeat, energetic, cool, happy person feels bad sometimes, and it may seem unlikely, but shoot, you might just have bad luck. You might have messaged them 5 times, and you messaged them 5 times during times they were feeling bad, or they're having a tough couple weeks. They're doing a lot. They're busy. They're feeling stressed. They're feeling anxious, and you just had some bad luck. And you like the last 5 times you messaged. That can happen. So just remember that we're all connected 24/7. So we have to see each other at our works. Back in the day, you could sign on to your messenger when you're feeling good, then you want to talk. Nowadays, everyone has access to everyone at all times. So just remember that. And what if I just, I'll be honest with you guys. I talk about it a lot. I'm pretty open. I had a really bad several months. I had months of I wasn't feeling very good. Guess what? Everyone still had access to me at all times. So I can tell you, I didn't want to talk a lot of the time then. But guess what? Many people still had access to me. If it was back in the day, maybe I'd just stay signed off of stuff, but I couldn't stay signed off. I mean, I'm connected. We're all connected 24/7, 365. My phone gets a Discord or a Telegram message, and I wake up, there's a bunch of messages. I go to bed, there's a bunch of messages. Like, you are connected 24/7. So just remember that. And that, if your brain might jump to the fact, oh, they hate me. They're acting like they don't want to talk to me, but you don't know what they're going through. And don't just jump to, well, they hate me and everything's horrible. Just remember that we're all connected 24/7, and it's not as easy in this day and age to actually get yourself away. I'm pretty sure that being connected 24/7, we're all trained to think we need to respond to things pretty quickly, and so yeah, we feel like we're obligated to respond, and even if we're not feeling good. And that can lead to subpar responses. I'm sorry if I'm not feeling good, and you could come to me with any topic about anything, and if I'm not feeling good, you're getting a lackluster response. I'm sorry. Even if it's a topic I love talking about, even if you're a person I adore and I love talking to, if I'm feeling that bad, you're not going to get a great response. It sucks, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? So it's like, just remember that don't jump to bad conclusions. It's okay. It's okay to say I'm sorry. Like it's a good thing, and I've definitely done this before, where I say like, man, I'm really sorry. Like the past month or even months, I've said this, or like weeks or however long, like, hey, for the past few like months or weeks, whatever it may be, like I realize I haven't been treating you like that great. Like my response has been kind of poor. I haven't really reached out much. Like I haven't been a good friend. So I want to apologize for that. Like I've really been struggling with this, and here's what it is, and you don't even have to get into it. Like if you're not comfortable telling them, like I'm pretty comfortable if it's someone close to my life that I would feel the need to apologize to for something like that. I'm pretty good at saying what was bothering me or what was going on in my life that made me act like that. But I think it's a really important thing, and it comes back down to being vulnerable, saying you're sorry. I'm sorry. And I've apologized, and there's probably some people out there nodding who have been like, yeah, right, you did say that to me before. Like it's a good thing to say sometimes. Hey, of course your friend's gonna say, hey, don't worry about it. Like you don't have anything to be sorry for, but like it still feels good to be vulnerable and say like, hey, I realize these past few months I haven't been myself, or these past weeks I had a lot going on. I've been working on these projects. This has been going on at work, in my personal life. This has been going on, and I just haven't been feeling it. So I'm sorry that I haven't treated you as well as I should have, or that I haven't reached out, or I haven't been your friend, or it's just like I'm sorry for that, and that's okay. And I think it's really important. And a lot of like a lot of people are quick to apologize for things that they maybe don't need to apologize for. But I think something like that, having a real and it's like about taking a step back and like for me, sometimes I don't realize it in the moment. I definitely have that happen a lot where I don't realize it in the moment or for even weeks or months. And I take a step back at some point and I go, damn, like this person has been my loyal friend. They stood by me. They've supported my streams. They've talked to me. They've been kind to me, and I haven't been there for them as much as I should have been. And again, like if you're going through a tough time or a busy time or both, like you might not see it, but it's really important to take a step back. And I'm not talking about apologizing like every day. Some people are very apologize heavy. You guys, you're great. You don't need to apologize like that. But it is to have a really mature step back and say, "Damn, I was struggling, and like this person really deserved better from me." Um, like so I am gonna go have a serious, like a little, short little thing anyway. But like, I almost dropped a name, but I'm not sure I should name drop of people that I've had this conversation with before. But like, if you're out there and you're an important person in my life that I'm close to, and that you've been by my side for a while, um, I think I think I've probably had this conversation with you because I go through phases where I'm just locked into other things, locked into work, locked into my outside of the internet life, locked into whatever it may be, streaming or whatever's going on. It's important if there's someone that's close to you and they've been loyal to you, have a talk with them. Just say, hey, I just want you to know, and it comes back down to being vulnerable again and saying nice things about people. Like, hey, like you mean a lot to me. I'm sorry that I haven't been there, but like you don't mean any less to me. And I'm gonna, I just was going through this really tough time. You're super important to me, and I'm glad you're a part of my life. Whatever it may be, however you want to say it. But yeah, that's really important, and I think I've done a good job of that. Like I said, this year's been a tough year for me. I've definitely spaced myself from some people, distanced, not spaced, distanced myself from people that maybe I shouldn't have or didn't deserve it. But that's what I was going through. So yeah, it's important to me to be able to say, "Hey, I'm sorry that I did this." And again, their response is probably going to be, "Hey, you don't need to be sorry. Like, I'm sorry you went through that." But like, it's still it's good to be vulnerable. Be vulnerable, guys. Like, be honest with people that you care about. If you really care about them, and you think you may, even if you think you may have wronged them, be vulnerable and say, "Hey, I'm sorry that and don't jump the gun. Take a step back, think about the situation, give it some good thought. Just you and yourself and your thoughts, and think about it and say, did I treat them the way that they deserve to be treated these past few months or however long it may be, right?" And I've had that thought with myself, and I was able to come to the conclusion that no, I didn't treat them the way that they should be treated. And it's not like I was outwardly mean to them, but like you have a lot going on, you just don't, it's hard to prioritize everything, but those people in your life, they do deserve to be prioritized alongside everything else. So again, it's not about feeling like you're a piece of crap for that. It's just about being vulnerable with that person you care about and saying, "Hey, I'm sorry that that this happened, and you mean a lot to me still. And I hope I hope we'll continue to be good friends, and that'll carry on." And I think something like that can definitely help because yeah, I mean, I don't know, I imagine those people on the receiving end of me saying that to them may have felt like, damn, that sucks. Like I'm there supporting Raichu and being his friend and stuff, and he's just kind of like not he's not really he's not treating me like the friend that I thought he was, or whatever. So like it's just important to kind of look at yourself sometimes, we're all hard on ourselves, but sometimes you're justified to say, you know what, I wasn't perfect, and that's okay. None of us have to be perfect, but it's good to admit that, hey, I wasn't the friend that you deserve for these months, so I apologize for that. And you still mean a lot to me, even though I didn't necessarily show it. If you feel like being open, maybe you say, I was going through these things and it really effed with me and blah blah blah, whatever, whatever it may be. But I don't know. Just be vulnerable with the people you care about. It's important. It really is. And that's something that I highly value. Vulnerability, being vulnerable with those that you care about, because it's that's really how you connect. Being vulnerable. open your heart and let them in. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say on that topic. But yeah, we're all connected a lot, and people sometimes will be reaching out to us at bad times, and they won't even know it. They won't even know it. I know for me, for months, many people probably didn't even know I was going through stuff until I finally told them. So, you know, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. And sometimes and it's not a knock, right? Like I was going through stuff and really no one in my life knew it. And that's not on them. That's not like I don't care about them because I didn't tell them. That's just me being afraid, to be vulnerable at that time. So, that's basically how it is. It's about just being vulnerable with people. Be vulnerable with those that you care about, and show them some love. Show them some love. All right. Well, I think that's good for our first half of the podcast. We're a little over an hour. I have a few more topics written down here, and yeah, so I have a few good topics here to discuss. We've got a few more questions. So there's going to be some good stuff in part two, which again, you'll be seeing it in like 5 seconds from now. But for me, it'll be a whole different time. So thanks for listening to part one. With the magic of editing, you'll be seeing me talking again in a moment. But I love you guys. Thank you. My friends, we are back with part two. Well, for you, I know I insist on calling it part two, even though it's still part one for you. But for me, it's a whole new time. And yeah, I hope everyone is feeling fantastic. I'm just going to get right into it. There's still a few more questions, and I have a little notepad with some notes and stuff that I take down. So let's just jump right in with question number 7 from the one and only Anthon, who always asks very eloquent questions. And Anthon's question here is a very interesting one. And the question says, you received a package containing an item or items that you've always wanted to have. Regardless of how expensive or how difficult it is to get, what do you think is inside that box? So that's a wonderful question. For me, I mean, you guys know me. I'm a video game collector, so it would probably be video game related items. And the one that jumps out to me is Earthbound Complete in Box, which is something I've wanted for a while. Funny kind of funny story. It's not that funny, but years ago, and mind you, Earthbound Complete in Box these days goes for thousands, like 2,000 to 3,000 in good condition, maybe more now. I'm not even super up to date with the market because that's a lot of money. But yeah, so years ago, Toshabi and I went to a game store. This is probably, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. And at the time, right? Now I have a pretty nice, not bragging, but like I have a pretty decent job. If I wanted to spend a few $100s on something, if I found a really good deal on something for a few $100s, I could afford to just buy it, But it wasn't like that then. We were kind of just getting by early on in our careers, and we were just youngins, and we didn't have a whole lot of money. So we went to this game store, and they had a complete in box Earthbound, and I think it was only it was between 300 and 400. I don't remember the exact amount. I was going to say 350, but I'm not certain. But yeah, so we found it, and at the time, that was a decent deal. It's gone up a lot since then, but like at the time, that was a decent deal. But not like an incredibly stellar, amazing, like the best find of your life, but it was a good deal. But I could not justify it because it was, $300 or $400, and that was a lot of money for me at the time. So I passed, and now I don't have a complete box Earthbound, but it's okay. So I definitely would say that would be on my list. I'm trying to think if there's any other particular games. I've been kind of fortunate. The other game was a game on the PlayStation 1 called LSD Dream Emulator. And I actually purchased that earlier this year. I got a good enough deal on it that I could justify a purchase. So that would have been definitely on my bucket list. That's a game that's been on my bucket list to own for a long, long time. And I was able to get it earlier this year. So that's great. Other game-related things. I mean, I have most of the consoles that I want complete in box. The Amiga CD32, I was just looking over at it. That was one that I spent a long time hunting down complete in box, and I was able to get it. There's really not a lot that I'm looking for right now. So I'd say the Earthbound. And other than that, there's not really something specific that I can think of that that jumps out. Earthbound Complete in Box is kind of the one that's been evading me for many, many years. So I would say that. There's definitely other games that I want, but like that if I saw them, I would get them. You know what I mean? But like, there's not really a lot that I'm actively looking for to the point that I would expect to see it in a box containing an item I've always wanted to have. You know what I mean? So I would say Earthbound Complete in Box. I think that is about it. So yeah, thank you, Anthony. That was a very interesting question. Made me think. So thank you for that. All right. So we're on question 8, which is Chili Mex's question, and this is another big time thinker. This will probably take an hour to answer by itself. So we're gonna circle back to this because I don't want to end the podcast on you know, like Raichi, what's your favorite type of cheese? I don't even remember the rest of the questions, but I'm gonna end on a more. I'm going to end on Chili Mex's note because it's hard to follow up something like that. So we're going to come back to Chili Mex's question. Thank you, Chili Mex. Question number 9 by Ross Coolcat. What is Raichu's favorite thing about Halloween? Okay, so for me, I mean, I've always loved spooky things. So I just like spooky things in general, whether that be going to like haunted house exhibits or things like that, or watching scary movies, playing scary games. Like, I love that stuff. And I know you wouldn't know it because I just sit there stone-faced, but I'm absolutely obsessed with horror movies. So like, I love the opportunity. Usually some good movies come out in theaters, and some good stuff on, you know, like on streaming and stuff. So yeah, I love spooky stuff, spooky games, spooky movies, even spooky like exhibits and stuff, IRL, like haunted houses and stuff. All that's super fun to me. I just love the spooky atmosphere. And, so for me, yeah, that's what I love. I know you wouldn't think it. I'm such a little ball of sunshine, right? But I am obsessed with spooky stuff. So I don't need Halloween to enjoy my spooky stuff. I watch horror movies year round, baby, every weekend, year round. But it's nice to have a themed month. It's fun, and it's fun to see. You know, my friends will, you know, be playing horror games and stuff. It's nice to see the spookiness kind of grow because I'm super passionate about horror stuff. I love horror stuff. So, yeah, I guess that's it. I just love the horror aspect. I love all the spooky stuff. That being said, I also like getting 75% off candy the day after Halloween. You know, if you know, you know. But yeah, I mean, definitely the spooky stuff first, and then I mean, I don't know. That's pretty much all Halloween is. So I like the spooky stuff. But you know. Yeah, I hope that answered your question, Ross. I love spooky stuff, and I also like candy, but spooky stuff mostly, but also candy, but also a little bit of candy as well. Thank you, Ross. All right, question number 10 from the Bui. Knowing that I spent that's Lang, by the way, in case you weren't aware who the Bui was. Knowing that I spent 2 years in this community and basically growing up with you guys, I'm curious if I was able to teach anything. So, Lang, I read this question, and I was actually excited to be able to give you an answer to this, because I have a good answer. Also, let me turn off the responses. There we go. No more people can submit questions, because we're filming. But yeah, so I have a great answer for this, Lang, and, I mean, to be bluntly honest with you, your topic, or your ongoing... I don't want to say struggle, what's the word? Ongoing situation with your boy you were interested in that we shared on stream. I mean, that's the reason why the podcast is here, because we talked about that. People really loved hearing me talk about the stuff, and then we did it again, and people loved it so much that they recommended a podcast. So you're the reason. I mean, I don't know if I learned anything, like, I don't know, but I would say what you inspired was this podcast. I mean, your situation was fun enough to share on the stream, and it birthed this amazing podcast, which I'm super excited for, and I hope will be a staple of the Raichu stream for many, 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 many years to come. So yeah, I mean, I think that's what you inspired in me is giving me a good story and realizing helping me to realize the platform, how many people actually got help, right? Because when I shared that story, I was getting messages like people telling me, wow, that was really actually helpful and like insightful for me. So I think that helped me realize that that there was a market for it. Market's not the right word, but it is kind of. There's like an audience for it, I guess. for having talks about more serious topics, because I never really explored that much in my stream. So you kind of inspired that. And even though we kind of did it jokingly, with yours, it was kind of joking. Like, I was like, come on, brother, make the play. Go on, tell him you love him and stuff. But like, it was a serious topic done in a lighthearted, Raichu way, I would say. So yeah, I mean, I think that's really what you did. So thank you for helping to make this a thing. And you know, if you guys like the podcast, well, someday go say thanks, Lang, for confiding in Raichu your secret so that he could share that on stream. It wasn't a secret, okay? I was allowed to share it on stream, but yeah. So thanks, Lang. That's very cool. I'm super happy that we have this podcast, and it's been a great outlet for me, and I hope it's been a great outlet for others as well. So, yeah, thank you, Lang. All right. So question number 11. This is the last question before we get back to Chili Mex's serious question. And the question is, when is Raichu's drawing streams? So we actually can, because Toshabi gave me his old tablet. It's a good tablet. It's like a Intuos, or like a Cintiq something. Wacom Cintiq, you know. It's a really good tablet. It's just his old one, and it has like some wear and stuff. And so he got a new one because if you're like a professional artist, it matters. But for me, it doesn't matter. It has some wear on it. It's not a mint condition one, but it's a nice freaking tablet. So I don't know if I'd do a drawing stream. Maybe I would. I don't know. When is the Raichu drawing stream? I don't know. But someday we'll draw something on stream. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I do have the access to that to do something hopefully cool. So yeah, hooray. Raichu drawing streams. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess it could be fun. We just chat and draw and stuff. So maybe it'll happen. Maybe it will happen. All right, quick sip of coffee. We're getting back to Chili Mex's question, which is a doozy. All righty. Coffee is such a great invention. Thank you to whoever invented coffee. I don't know who it is, but I appreciate you, coffee inventor. Okay, here we go. Question from the legendary Chili Mex. Speaking of which, his birthday's in like 13 days from now. So happy birthday, Chili Mex. All right. Here we go. So this is a doozy one. It's a little bit of a deep topic. It's a little bit of a heavy topic. So let's get into it. From Chili Mex. I've recently come to learn that being open and authentic to yourself is one of the best ways to get people to know you and trust/like you more, instead of just hiding and being scared of what people are going to think of you. Very, 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 very extraordinarily true. The question is, as someone who grew up being terrified of other people's judgment on anything related to me, sexuality, hobbies, passions, etc., and therefore being used to hiding as much of it as possible just to be likable and not considered weird, how do you start doing the opposite of that and get used to it? How does one convince himself that being odd but authentic with the right people is better than suppressing your emotions just to try to be tolerated by everyone? So I think, I mean, first off, let me just say, there's nothing, I mean, I don't want to, I'm not trying to sound egotistical here, but like, I think most people, more than the right people, most people I think have good, they like me, I guess. I don't know how to say it better than that, but, and I'm very open with everyone. So, I mean, I think you don't have to like suppress to be like, have everyone, like, I don't know. I think everyone loves you, Chili Mex, but, I know you're still probably going to say, oh, well, I'm suppressing my stuff, but, yeah, I mean, that's step number one is like, yeah, you can still be liked by most people by being yourself. In fact, you know, I think almost everyone would love Chili Mex being his authentic self. So I guess that's that. So how do you feel better about being open? So really, I mean, it comes down to, I don't want to say not caring because I care what others think. So you just kind of have to use the fandom as a safe space. And I mean, I don't know. Have you ever had, I don't know about you, Chili Mex. Have you ever had just a situation where like in the fandom, people openly hate that you like something? I don't know. I've never had that experience, but I think the fandom in general is a very accepting place. And that's the benefit. I mean, I still suppress a lot of my stuff to normies because I know they don't give a shit about, you know, that I'm a furry and that I, you know, blah, 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 whatever my interest may be. But like in the furry fandom, that's the benefit, right? You can truly be yourself. And sure, some people will like it more than others, right? And like I guess that's kind of the thing, is that like, I mean, you just saw it recently. You're able to bond with Game Orca over Spyro 2, for example. But yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, right, and the things you like, which, I mean, I don't know, maybe you have other secrets, but I don't know. You're quite normal to me, Chili Mex. I mean, I feel like you probably confide in me decently, and I don't know. You don't have anything that I would say is like a weird interest. Whoa, guys, he likes video games and tales and furries and I mean, I don't and spooky movie. I mean, I don't know. That's all very, very normal stuff to me. I mean, I think in particular, you don't have anything to worry about. You don't have any weird interests at all. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say, but there's nothing wrong with having weird interests, right? But like, I'm just saying, like, you in particular, I mean, I don't know. I think you certainly, I mean, no one should have anything to hide, but like in particular, your interests seem very mundane. Like, I don't know who in the world would even normies, like, I guess the tails maybe, but you know, don't tell normies that you really, really, really love tails, but it's okay. It's all right. But no, I mean, I think at the end of the day, right, it's just about, you just have to meet the right people, right, in the furry fandom. And I hope, Chili Mex, that you have found a lot of those people in our community who support you lovingly always. That's kind of the key. I feel like once you break that ice, it gets easier. So you have a community that adores you, Chili Mex, and so you know that you can be yourself around us. I mean, I hope you know that. But yeah, like basically, you can be yourself around us, which shows you like others would think the same, and not everyone. Some people might not like some. So here's the groups, right? There's some people who they're mostly just interested in their own what they like, right? And if you like what they like, cool, right? Like, that's awesome. Then you guys can bond over that, right? So that's step one. But if you like something else, it's going to be like, you don't really have the connection there, right? Like, you're not going to have a strong connection because they're mostly interested in what they are. Like, let's just say, for example, Chili Mex loves Kingdom Hearts. There's this guy who really likes, I don't know, Call of Duty. I don't know. I'm just going to choose that. That seems ridiculous, but yeah, they like Call of Duty, and like, okay, well, I don't really like Call of Duty. Okay, well, we're not going to be friends. Like, you know, I'm not that interested in Kingdom Hearts, so that's okay. You know, that's option one. Option two is the people that I really, really vibe with, is the people who are more interested in learning about things that you like, that maybe they're not super knowledgeable about, and sharing. And that for me is always the best type of friendship. The ones where maybe you have some things you like in common, but then the things that you're different things that maybe they like that you don't really know much about, or you don't necessarily like yet. For example, like someone that would be like, Chili Max, tell me about Kingdom Hearts. Like, I want to know like how this really, you know, like how this inspires you and stuff and blah, 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 you know? So it's like, when you find those types of people, then I think you just know, you're like, wow, I can really be myself. So I think, again, it's going to come down to the quote unquote worst case is you're expressing your interest in someone and they're just like not that interested. I don't think they judge you. For example, like, I really wasn't interested in Kingdom Hearts, until this, I mean, not that much until this year. But I wouldn't have like judged you for liking Kingdom Hearts. I just would have been like a little bit of a dummy, you know. But like, most people, especially in the fandom, no one's gonna judge you for what you're interested in, your passions, etc. It's kind of like, can I talk about this? I don't know. We'll circle back in a minute. But yeah, I don't think most people are gonna judge you. They're more so, maybe they won't be interested, which in that case, it's okay. There's no loss. It's kind of like how I was talking about, like, you reach out to someone, you take a shot to trying to be someone's friend or whatever, and they're not all that interested, or you guys just don't click well. There's really no loss. You tried. Just like if, say you're talking to someone and you're telling them your interests and they're not all that interested, well, it's not like the world ends. Oh, right, you didn't really care that much about my interest, well, the world's over. Which, by the way, I try to be more of a oh, tell me about your interest even if I'm not interested in it kind of person. I try to be like that, but anyway, yeah. So basically, you don't lose anything, and the best you can gain is someone who you really vibe with, that you can learn about their interests, and you can, you can share your interests with them, and you can vibe, and you can form a really, really amazing friendship or a relationship, whatever it may be. So yeah, I think there's really just no downside of being yourself in the furry fandom. No, you just kind of have to remember, in the real world, I understand the risk is kind of scary. Like, it's super scary, but in the fandom, there's really no risk. Just take a shot, take a shot. Talk to someone about something you care about, or ask them about something they care about. Some of the best conversers I know are people who ask about your interests. And I know, I'm sorry, guys, I know we talk about him all the time, but I have to use King as an example because he is someone who is excellent at asking about other people's interests, and not just mine. Like, other people have told me the same thing. So I'm speaking from multiple people saying like, oh wow, it's really cool how he does this, and and my own personal experience as well. So I think in general, yeah, it's a great thing to be able to do that and do it well and learn about other people's interests, and you expand your own horizons as well. So yeah, just try sharing. I mean, the worst case that'll happen is nothing. That's it. That's the worst case, is they're not interested. Oh well, no big deal. It's all good. They're not going to hate you. Wow, he likes Kingdom Hearts, I hate him. No, it's going to be like, I'm not really interested in Kingdom Hearts. I mean, he's a nice guy, but there's definitely nice people that have interests that are outside of mine that, maybe we're not going to bond on. Maybe their interests just don't appeal to me, but I still think they're really cool, nice people. Just because we can't bond over interests because we don't share a lot of interests doesn't mean they're not a really freaking awesome, cool person. And I would hope that would be the same thing, Chili Mex. If you shared your interest with someone and they didn't like it, it'd be like, well, he's really awesome and cool, because you are. So yeah, and I was gonna use it as another thing, but like, I don't know, can we talk about this on the podcast? Can we say the V word? Like, for example, I've got a lot of friends that like vor. It doesn't do anything for me, but it's still fun to be able to, like joke and tease and like support your friends' passions like that, So it's like I tease Kelmori about it all the time, or macro, micro, all that stuff. So I don't know. It's just fun to just enjoy something that your friends enjoy, even if you don't necessarily, and it's not your thing, quote unquote, yourself. So I think just try it. There's nothing to lose, especially in the fandom, particularly in the fandom. So yeah, just be yourself, and that's how you'll form the most authentic friendships, is by being yourself, because a lot of people adore you, Chili Max. You don't think so? I know right now you're saying like, oh, that's not true, but it is so freaking true. You have no idea how many people tell me how much they like you, and yeah, I've never heard a bad word spoken about Chili Max. So just be yourself, and I know right now you're probably thinking, oh, that's because I'm suppressing my emotions to try to be tolerated by everyone. But that's not the case. I feel like you're very open in our community, and everyone adores you. So just try it. Branch out, and there's nothing to lose. You always have us, even if someone else doesn't, they're not clicking with you, no problem. It's okay. Many people don't click with me. And that's okay. I hope at the end of the day, they still think I'm a nice person, even if we don't share interests that we can, form a super amazing bond. I hope at the end of the day they still think of me as, oh, that guy's really nice. That's my goal. So how does one convince himself that being odd? Okay, well, I don't know. I guess we kind of covered this pretty dang decently. But yeah, I mean, we're all odd. Every single person has their oddities, right? So there's really no odd. That's the beauty of the furry fandom. Every single person here that's listening to this, for sure, guaranteed, has something that a normie would say, oh, that's freaking weird. So there is not one of us that is not odd. So we are all odd in our own ways. And, maybe someone will judge you at some point, but that's their problem, not yours, because we all have odd. I mean, I think I am positive that if I shared a lot of my interests with normies, they would be like, wow, you are the weirdest person ever. But, I don't know. I think I'm pretty cool. I think I'm pretty cool. But yeah, like it's just we're all odd. There's no odd. In the furry fandom, there is no odd. There is no odd. So just be yourself. And again, you're not gonna you can't click with everyone. And that's a hard thing. And sometimes there might be someone you really like and you want to, but you won't. So there but I've beat it into the ground. There's nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose from being yourself. Sure, no one's gonna hate you for being yourself. That's the thing, I guess. Um, you will still be tolerated even if you are yourself. Even by and I don't even think tolerated is fair. I think if you just be yourself, like your personality, Chili Mex, is like you would be liked by everyone, even if some people are like, oh, I'm not really interested in tails, like I can't talk about tails. I like paws or whatever, for example, or whatever, like that's okay. Like no one's gonna judge you. No one's gonna dislike you for it. It's just gonna be like, well, maybe me and Chili Mex aren't gonna be like the best of friends, but he's still a really nice guy, and I think that's the thing. There's so many people in my life that I think like, wow, they're a really nice person. Like, sure, we don't really have a lot to talk about. We don't really click like that. We don't maybe share interests, or we just don't have the click. And we talked about the click a lot. The click is when you just know when you talk to someone and you just feel that energy, and you just know, when you have the click, and when I say click, it's like CLICK, not CLIQUE. It's the click, like a click, like you feel it. You feel the connection, right? So what was I saying? Yeah. So basically, there's nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose, and everyone would like you regardless, Chili Mex. It'll just be some people will really take off in your interests, and that's the thing, right? If you're not open about your interests, it's hard to form really, really good connections. And those really, really, really good connections are the ones that carry you through life. Like those best friend level connections. And, and I actually have a note about best friends on my my little notepad here. So we'll get to that. But like, like those best friend level connections are only formed when you're actually open and being yourself. Sure, you can be tolerated by everyone, but that's a very unfulfilling life. That's not the fulfilling life you want. You want to form those connections. I mean, I think you do. You want to have those deeper bonds and deeper connections, which you can only truly experience by being open and honest or like, being openly yourself, being unabashedly you. And that's something I always do. And I made a comment earlier, oh, everyone likes me. That's not true. That's not true. I can be a little obnoxious, so there's definitely people that don't like me, but that's okay. It is okay, because at the end of the day, you have to be yourself, and you tolerated by everyone. That just sounds lame. That's like everyone's like just dealing with you. I would rather be loved by a few people. I would rather have a few people who are my ride or dies and would be there for me anytime, any place. Anytime I needed anything, they would be there. And those are the kind of bonds that you really want, Chili Mex. So, and I think you're very, very capable of having that with a lot of people, because you are a very, very good person. You have a very, very good heart, and I mean, yeah, I don't know. Everyone that I know that likes that's really into Kingdom Hearts has like a really freaking good heart. That's why I wanted to play the dang game, dude. So because I want to see how all these amazing people were formed by freaking Kingdom Hearts, but. Yeah, I don't know. I hope that answers your question pretty good, Chili Mex. I'm going to pivot into the best friends thing, because, yeah, it's like you really, to make those ultra strong bonds, you have to be open and honest, and you form those connections, which, everyone, I don't want to say everyone, a lot of single people, etc., are out there looking for a partner, and that's like their number one priority. But like, realistically, right? Having a best friend, or like a couple best friends, like those really ride or die people, those are even rarer than like than having like a partner, right? Like most, I don't know, I think in general people probably have like someone that they either have romantic interest in, like a crush, or if they have a relationship. Like I think that is more common, at least in my experience. That's been more common for me than the amount of best friends, quote, and I use air quotes because it's not really a Like I talk about this a lot, and I think I talked about this on stream before. I don't remember, but like it's an interesting point, right? Best friends, because when you're in a relationship, right? There's usually, I mean, I don't want to say, I mean, I guess usually is probably the right word most of the time. There's an moment, right, where you're in a relationship, and to form the relationship, at some point, someone says, "Hey, I want you to be my boyfriend. Will you be my boyfriend?" or whatever. So there's like a question is asked, right? Like, "Hey, do you want to make it official? Do you want to be my partner?" Etc. And so that it's official, like it's locked in, right? But best friends, I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but for me, I've had probably two best friends in my life, I think, that I would put on the best friend level, and a lot of good friends. But like when I was younger, I had a couple best friends, and it's like there's no conversation like, "Hey, do you want to be my best friend?" Like it doesn't happen. So there's always that gray area, and that's kind of where I feel like those friendships um kind of they're almost more impactful, in the sense that, like, with a relationship, you have that confirmation, right? You know when you're in a relationship, and you know when you're not in a relationship. If you break up, there's a conversation usually that says, "Hey, we should see other people. We should break up," whatever. So there's like that conversation. But with like a best friend, like someone that's your ride or die, you guys go through everything together. They're someone that you could consider your best friend. Like there's not those conversations. There's a lot more to manage, because you don't have the safety net of, well, we're in a relationship, so we have that net. Yes, they're your friend, but like nothing, there's no, in a relationship, right? There's cheating, right? Like, and stuff like, and you're kind of counting on the fact that, that like, that they're not going to cheat because it's morally bad, right? So, whatever, depending on the boundaries of your relationship, blah, 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 you're kind of safe from that. But like with close friends or best friends, like there's no cheating. So what if your best friend just wakes up tomorrow and meets someone else that's cooler than you and runs off with them instead, and that's their new best friend? You know what I mean? So that's like a constant, like something that, I think is not, I mean, maybe it is there in relationships as well, but not to that level. Like it's kind of like having, this is a funny analogy, but this is kind of how I think of it. Like you have your dog on a leash, right? And this is not saying that relationships are like having a pet, but like you have your dog on your leash, right? In a relationship, technically they could still probably get free and run away, but they're kind of like more contained. Like a best friend or like a really close friend is like the yard is open, they're running around, and like I don't know, it's just a little more free. But also, like when someone like that is loyal to you, like the yard is free, they could run at any point, and they could meet someone, they could go make another friend. Like the yard is wide open, it is free for them to run. So if they, despite that, they remain loyal to you, that's kind of why I feel like that's extra special and rare when you have a best friend or a couple best friends. It's not always one singular. It could be one, it could be a couple, it could even be a group of best friends that do everything together. But yeah, like those best friend level friendships, they're very special. And yeah, I think those can only be formed by being open and being yourself. And it'll still be hard to find those types of people, but you definitely won't find them by faking it and not being yourself. So be yourself, and you might make some really, really life-changing relationships. Those are the life. I mean, I haven't had someone I've considered a best friend in probably 15 years, and since I was in like high school, and but I still remember those people. I still remember things we did. I still have memories of things I did with my best friends back then. And yeah, so it's like it really is like, you're forming these amazing memories and whatnot through those really epic bonds. And yeah, and life takes you in different directions. You know what I mean? And that's okay. It doesn't mean, there's no guarantees that they'll be by your side for your whole life, but people come, people go from your life, and I guess realistically speaking, that's the reason to cherish those that are by your side long term, even more. And those types of people, again, they're going to be super extra formed by you being yourself and loving and them loving what you have to offer and the person that you are. I know for me, The people that are close to me in my life, they have impeccable characters. So if they're not themselves, if they're trying to be like, oh, let me try to be cool because Raichu's really cool, or whatever. Like, let me try to be something I'm not. Like, that doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, like, for me, the people that I want close in my life are people of impeccable character, like really, really just good-hearted people. And I think I have a pretty good sense of that. And I hope that people see the same in me and think the same thing. Like, oh, I really like Raichu because he's got a good heart. I think I do. And that's the kind of people that I gravitate towards, is those people who are very open with their heart. They wear their heart on their sleeve, I guess would be the right way to put it. But just being a good-hearted person and trying to make the world a better place and trying to make a positive difference for others. Those are things that I very much, the types of people that I put close to my life and that I would want as, a best friend or best friends or whatever. So, that it's exciting, and it's exciting because you never know. You never know when you'll wake up and you'll meet someone just really amazing, or not even meet someone you already knew. You'll have like a really good click conversation where you talked to them before, but then you have this really good click conversation. And you're like, holy shit, like that was like the click. And once you've felt that click, the friendship can take whole other levels of, friendship. Like you just had that, you knew someone, but you didn't really have that conversation that enabled the click. And then you have the click, and then they're your ride or die. You know what I mean? So, just be yourself, and you'll meet some amazing people. You really will. And not everyone will be your bestie, but hopefully you can form some really, really incredible bonds to carry you through your life, because you need them. We all need them. And, there's no surviving without them. So go make them. Trust me. It's important. All right. So we've got that. Let's click on that. And I guess that comes down to, I have another note about loyalty. And I think, it's just about, for me, loyalty is like one of the biggest traits I would look for in someone, whether that be a relationship or a friend. Or like a best friend type person, someone that's going to be my ride or die. Like, loyalty is so freaking attractive. Like, knowing that they're by your side through good and bad, through times maybe when you're busy, you can't, spend as much time with them, or through times when maybe you're depressed or you're sad, or times when, just you're not being yourself, or like the thing I always talk about so much in life is that, like, life is such a marathon. And when you think about how many emotions and things you go through, like, you can't be short-sighted. If you really value someone, you can't be short-sighted and say, well, like, oh, this week they weren't they weren't acting like themselves, so they probably hate me, and, well, I guess I'll never speak to them again. A lot of people are very quick on the internet in particular to just write someone off, to be like, oh, they didn't act like they should have this one time or this couple times. So, it's done. I'm not talking to them anymore. Loyalty is a really, really attractive trait, I think, in someone. For me, anyway. For me, it's one of the most attractive traits. If you're loyal to me, you have my heart. It's such an attractive trait. And it can be really hard because, again, we all go through things. And when you're feeling bad, and then like the people close in your life, maybe they're not doing great either, so you're just not connecting well like you should, like, that feels horrible. And it's very easy to just give up, because it's give up. It's the Kingdom Hearts thing, but it's really easy to give up. And so that's why loyalty is so cool and important. It's because it's the hard thing. To remain loyal when times are tough is really, really, really incredibly hard, because, again, we all struggle and we all want instant gratification. We don't want to wait. We don't want to wait for them to get better. We want to, we want instant gratification. But like, if you're struggling and someone, you're like, don't write people off just for, it circles back again. Everything kind of connects in a way, but it comes back again to what I was talking about earlier in the podcast about us being connected 24/7. It's like, don't write someone off because they might be going through a tough time, for example, and be loyal to those people that have shown you loyalty, even if they could be going through some stuff. And it's, and I'm not saying like, oh, just go years being mistreated and stuff, but like, don't be quick to lose that loyalty, right? It's very easy to just drop it. It's super easy to be unloyal. It's really, really freaking easy. But being loyal is something that's really hard to do, especially when you're going through a tough time, or especially those people that you want to be loyal to are going through a tough time. It can be really, really hard. But try to do the hard thing in this case and try to be loyal. It's a really, really important thing. And I just want to, a little tangent, but I just want to say thank you to the people that have been loyal to me, because I know I am perfectly able to admit that I'm not always in the best mindset, and sometimes I don't show the love to those people that have been loyal to me enough. But I do try. I don't always succeed, but I really, really appreciate all the people that have been loyal to me over the years, and I hope you'll continue to be. And just know, if you're loyal to me, I will be loyal to you. And I hope that you feel that loyalty from me. Those people who have been loyal to me, I hope that you feel the loyalty back, because I am. It's very much a two-way street, I feel. And yeah, so it's super important. So that's loyalty. That is loyalty. All right, so I've been saving this topic for a couple episodes. We never really got to talk about it, but it's one of my favorite aspects of life. I don't know. That's kind of a really weird thing to say, because it's actually one of the worst things in life, but it's also one of the most interesting, and that is, life is a game of incomplete information. You never know how others are feeling, etc. And so it kind of ties back in to what Chili Mex was saying earlier about, like, what if people don't like me for being myself? And oftentimes you won't really know. And that's the challenge of life, is you most of the time will not know what others are thinking. Sure, sometimes people will have very open conversations, and even the most like you might have a really open conversation with someone sometime when they straight up tell you like, hey, I really love this about you, and I really value you so much, etc. Blah blah blah. Like, very wearing their heart on their sleeve conversations, right? So sometimes those rare occasions you do get most of the information. I mean, our brains will still be like, oh, they're just saying that, right? But like, when you do have those really, really open, like, heartfelt conversations where you don't even, and I have those, and they're rare, but they feel really good when you have those super heartfelt conversations where your brain doesn't even like fathom telling you that it's not real, because they're being so like vulnerable with you. But most of the time, life is a game of incomplete information. You don't know what others are thinking. Well, shit, Chili Mex liked me today, but tomorrow, I mean, who the hell knows? I mean, I don't know. I might have, who knows what I've done? I might have done something and he just doesn't like me anymore. It's very easy to think like that. And we just have to all remember that we are all working with incomplete information. And that's a challenge. For me, it's kind of a beautiful thing. I always put it back to the poker example. Like, that's as a poker player, that's what you do. You work with incomplete information. You can't see the other people's hands, right? In life, you can't know what the other person is thinking either. You have no idea, So we're all working with the same information, and that's very little. So all you can really do, again, is be yourself, be open, be honest, and try to see. The difference is, right, in poker, you're trying to not reveal information. You want to be closed off, and you don't want to give away any information. The way I try to live my life is to give as much information as I can. And what I mean by that is, like, life is a game of incomplete information. I know those people around me are struggling, and I know that people have doubts about themselves, and they might feel like, I'm not that important. So that's why I try to be wear my heart on my sleeve a lot, is because it's hard. And I know the people that I'm talking to, the people that are close to my life, are working with incomplete information too, and they don't know. Maybe I freaking started hating them, or maybe they might be thinking that, or maybe they're thinking like they're worried about like they did something that made me upset, or they didn't do whatever it may be. So that's why I try to give that information so that people don't have to struggle with it. And I think that's like one of the most powerful things you can do, is to ease others' struggles, right? And I don't mean like like sometimes like I don't mean like you have to go above and beyond, but it's not really that much extra just to kind of give a little information. Like make sure it's clear to those that you care about that you care about them. We circle back to this all the dang time, but make sure it's clear to them. And you don't have to. I'm not saying like do it every moment of every day, like every hour. Hey, by the way, I care about you, but like remind people how much you value them. It's really, really important, and just go that extra mile to say, hey, just so you know, I think you're really cool, and if you want to, I don't know, like I'm doing this thing, and if you want to come hang out, you can, it's just like it's about making the effort to make people feel appreciated and valued, because again, we're all living in this world of incomplete information, and it's very, very easy to think, well, I don't know if they like me anymore, or they probably don't like me. We're all hard on ourselves, so try to make a little effort, I think, to do that. I think it's important. A lot of people struggle with self-doubt, and it can make a big difference, I feel like, just kind of reminding them, kind of filling in those blanks. They're thinking, does Right You like me? Well, if it takes me 5 seconds to just remind them, you know what, you're really important in my life, and I always appreciate you, then that's something I can spend 5 seconds on to potentially make their day, week, month better. It's very minor effort to have a possible big impact, because yeah, it's scary. I mean, shoot, we're all just trying to live life, and we don't know what other people are thinking. Unfortunately, unless someone out there has mind reading abilities, which if you do, can I borrow them, please? Because I could really use that. Although I don't know. That seems like a lot of anxiety would be stemmed from that. I'd be like, oh God, should I read their mind? They might hate me. Oh God, I don't even want mind reading abilities, because I'm going to be too anxious to read their mind because they might hate me. Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, just remember, we're all dealing with incomplete information in life. Even the most confident person doesn't really know they don't know at all what other people are thinking. I think I'm an insightful person. Like I can read situations pretty well, but I still don't really know, because at the end of the day, we base it off of ourselves, right? And we've all been there where we think like, oh, they should act like, like this is how I would act in this situation, and they're not acting like that. I wonder if they hate me or something. Like we've all done that because we're going off our own information. And it's the same thing in poker, like, right? Like you think like, here's how I would play this hand, and they're not doing that. That doesn't make sense. But you can't think about how others would do something that you'll drive yourself crazy. You can't think about how you would do something and compare it to others, because other people don't do things the same way as you. It's all a great big mystery, that world that we live in, and we're all just kind of we're kind of just doing our best. And I think, like, for me, right, this is kind of a tangent, but I had a note on this as well about like leadership. So like you guys, a lot of you guys know, like I always tend to take a leader role in life, in so many different things in life. And for me, my biggest strength as a leader, and this is a little hint for you guys who might find yourself in a leadership position against your will. I know a lot of people don't like leadership positions. I thrive. I love them. I live for them. But like the best way to be a leader is to alleviate the people's concerns, because a lot of people, right, under a leader, right, your natural, like, you look up to someone, right, like, let's just say it's like your boss, or like, whoever it may be in your life, like your team captain on your sports team, or like your shot caller on your League of Legends team, whoever it may be, right? But like, you probably look up to them in some form. They're your leader. They're the leader of this group that you're in. So you look at them as a leader. And we all want to impress the people that we look up to, or like we want to feel like they're noticing us, right? So as a leader, it's really, really important to do those kind of things that I'm talking about, and tell people what you like about them, or like what they did a good job on. Like, yo, that was really let's use an example. We're playing League of Legends, all right? I'm our team captain, and maybe let's say Chili Mex is playing bot lane. He's playing AD carry, and he's having a tough game. He's 0-2, but I see he has good farm. So that's a good opportunity to bring someone up and say, "Oh, Chili Mex, like that's really good farm you got there. Keep that up, and we'll be able to catch up, no problem." And that's something I do because I take the leadership role when I play League. I tend to notice like nice things about people, or when someone does something good, like even like, oh, let's say they roam, and sorry, this is going to be League of Legends example, so some people might not get it, but like they roam to my lane for a gank, and we don't get the gank, or we don't even get the flash, let's say, but they made a good decision to roam. I'll say, yo, that was a good call to roam. No worries, we didn't get him, but it's all good. Good call anyway. So it's about, appreciating those little things about people and saying something that you liked. Like, even if we lose, right? If we lose the game, I can say, dang, that was rough, but like, you guys really held the composure. Like, we fought them hard. Like, we were outmatched, but we really held our composure. Like, Kel, you farmed really well top lane, and Chili Mex, you got those 3 kills early, which put us in a good position, but we just couldn't close it out. But that was really good, for example. So like, it's about appreciating people, and you have to, in the good and the bad times. When things are going good, it's real easy to say nice things about people. Like, we're crushing them. Like, nice job being 27-0, Kel. Like, that's really an easy compliment. But it's a little more tactful when you have to say, like, when you're, like for me, the game I played the most competitive was Left 4 Dead 2, right? And being able to say that was a good call to try to charge there. It didn't work out. They absolutely wrecked you. I don't say that part, but like that was a good call to charge. Like, good try, like good effort. Like, that was the right decision. Like, things like that, where something bad, or like the unoptimal outcome happens, right? But you still want to make them feel good. So that, I don't know, it's just a little kind of tangent, but you might find yourself in a leadership role at some point, and some people don't know how to handle it. But that is the key to being a good leader. Is those people are going to look up to you if you're in a leadership position. So make sure that they feel appreciated, and you tell them things you like about what they're doing and like what you like. Like, Chili Mex is like a manager role at work. I hope he tells his people, like, when they stay late or something, like, oh, I really appreciate you staying late. That was awesome. And thanks for helping get everything caught up, or like, getting the floors clean to, having to stay late or whatever it may be. Like, I've been in supervisor roles at work. Like I said, on competitive, like video games, on sports, and all of it at the end of the day comes back to the same thing. People want to be appreciated by those they look up to. And if you're in a leadership position, people are looking up to you, and so appreciate them. Tell them something. Tell them every single day that you are in a leadership position. Any game you're playing, you should be having something nice to say about your teammates. Any shift you work, if you're a supervisor, you should have something nice to say about your colleagues. And a sports team, any game, you might get crushed. Trust me, I have been a part, as a leader, I have been a part of so many failed sports teams. And the thing is about me too, right, is I love underdogs. So I'll be that guy who willingly chooses the worst team, and just to have a chance to win. So here's a fun example. I played on a softball team, before COVID. After COVID, it shut down, but it would actually, I guess it would have been before I streamed then, because yeah, it was before COVID. So like, we played 2 seasons, and in total, probably 30 games. We won 1 game in total and lost the other, let's call it 29. But you know what? I was out there telling people when someone did anything good, most of the games we got crushed. But I was the loudest person out there clapping when someone got a hit, someone did something good, and celebrating them. And when we got that 1 win, it was the most unbelievable hype thing you have ever seen in your life when we got that 1 win that we got. And yeah, I don't know. I always love an underdog. Like, if we were playing Left 4 Dead, I will happily take the quote unquote, I don't want to say worst players, but I will take the people who don't have as much experience with the game, because I truly believe in lifting people up, and I love the opportunity to lift people up. It's a lot more fun for me anyway to lift the people up who maybe have some self-confidence issues, who maybe have some doubts about themselves. Maybe they're not the best at this, or they're a little out of their comfort zone. Give me those people. I will make them shine. Absolutely. And that is one of my favorite things in the world, is making people shine. And that's why I love leadership roles, is because it's such a great opportunity to put the spotlight on others. And I love passing that spotlight. It feels so good to put the spotlight on someone that you care about and that you think is awesome, which is, you guys see, I do that a lot. There's definitely some certain people that I spotlight a lot in in our community and whatnot. It's very fun to me to spotlight people and to be able to say, yo, this person's really awesome. Check him out. Look at him. Just look at him. You know, just look at him. It's like holding him up, like hey, check him out. Give him uppies. But yeah, I don't know. That's what I like. So that was just a little fun, I guess, aside, a little fun tidbit, and like, I guess, yeah, I thought it was a fun tangent. If you're ever in a leadership role, which you will find yourself in a leadership role at some point, I'll bet you. So just be prepared, be ready for it. Be nice, That's what it comes to. That's all you need in a leadership role is to make the others feel good. If you lose, it's okay. If it doesn't go perfectly, that's okay. Just bring others up, right? Because let me tell you, my team went 1-29 in our 2 seasons of softball where I was the captain. Listen, we had a very underdog team. There was a lot of people who weren't very good at softball. Sorry to say, it's okay. It's all right. We played a lot of teams that was like 20-year-old, like people who probably should have been playing like professional college softball in this fun little casual league, right? And we had like 50-year-old women on our team and like people that were definitely from an athletic standpoint could not match up with these freak athletes that should have probably been in like the professional, like major leagues or something. But like, yeah, basically like we had a lot of fun and people felt good. And that was the highlight. Sure, we lost, but you got 2 hits. You had a really good like play in the outfield. Like, we had things that you can appreciate, and it's okay if you lose. But we had probably better morale than almost anyone. And I don't mean to like pat myself on the back, but like I have a big part in that because I don't let people's morale get low. I don't want low morale. I want people to be happy. So I'm going to try to help bring that happiness out as a leader. And I hope if you guys are put into a leadership role, you'll do the same because it's really, really important and it makes people feel good and keeps morale high. And high morale in life it's just the best thing. So do it. All right. Well, that's all the questions. And I have a couple more topics, but I think I'm going to save them for next week. They'll be a good tangent for next week. But I think we answered everything we need to. We're right around the 2-hour mark and the questions were answered, I think, pretty well. And I got to talk about some other fun stuff. So we kind of ended on a lighthearted note, an important thing in life, but not too heavy where it's sad. More of an inspirational thing, I think, where, you know what? If you are in a leadership role, show some love. And if you're in a role where I'm your leader, be prepared to be praised. Trust me. Trust me. You know me. I don't have any problem telling people what I like about them. So, yeah, that's one of my strengths in life. So pats myself on the back. Thanks, Raichu. Thanks, Raichu, for being nice to yourself. It's important to be nice to yourself. Even if life is hard, sometimes you want to be mean to yourself. It is important to be nice to yourself and appreciate the things about yourself as well. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you. Episode 3 is in the books. The new form will be open tomorrow, as always, or, maybe today, depending on when you're watching it. The new form will be open, so I hope you'll ask some questions. And I so look forward to talking to you next week. This is always one of the highlights of my week, being able to talk to you guys. So thank you so much for listening out there in the land of YouTube, Twitter, my Discord, wherever you're listening from. Thank you. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, I really, really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy, busy life to listen to me talk about who knows what, to talk about a lot of different things. So thank you. It means a lot. And I will see you next week for episode 4. Much, much love, my friends. Thank you so much.